Hello everyone. In this lecture 33, we will understand what is waste type and its configuration. There are total 3 subtopics in this lecture. The first one is what is primary and secondary waste type. The second topic is what is model and custom waste type. And the third topic is how to configure the waste type, which I will show you practically. Now, what is waste type? Payment or deduction data is stored in waste type. So waste type basically stores the amount or number or unit which can be a payment to the employee, or it can be a deduction from the employee's paycheck. Now there are two prime categories of waste types in SAP. What are those two prime categories? The first one is primary, or in other words, master waste types. The second one is secondary or technical waste types. So these are the two prime categories of waste types. Now let's understand what is primary waste type. The primary waste type is again divided into the following types. What are those types? Dialog waste type and time waste type. Now let's understand what is dialog waste type. These are the waste types that a user can enter online in the info type, meaning a user can directly go to the info type and enter the waste type. Any waste type which you can directly enter into the info type is called as a dialog waste type. So user can maintain this info type during HR master data maintenance through the transaction code PA30. What are the payroll related info types? Info type basic pay, which is info type 8, which you are aware of. This is one of the payroll related info type. Now there are some other payroll related info types such as additional payments. What is additional payments? This is info type 15. What does this info type stores? This info type store additional payment, like not regular payment but additional, like the company wants to give a bonus to you once a year. So that kind of payment can be stored in this info type. Now there is one more info type called as recurring payments and deductions, which is info type 14. What is the purpose of this info type? The purpose of this info type is to either pay the employee every period recurring, like your company wants to pay you $10 or $20 every month or every 2 months. This is recurring payment. Similarly, you must have taken loan from the company. Now the company wants to get the loan back from you. So they will deduct some amount from you every paycheck, like it could be every 2 months or every 3 months. So this is recurring payments and deductions. So this was the dialog waste types. Now what is time waste types? Time waste types are created by the system once the time evaluation is completed. If you recall my class time management, I used the term time evaluation. Time evaluation is a program which is used in time management, which runs automatically every night when you set this as an automated job. So what does this time evaluation do? What it do is it will basically create the time waste types as well as it create the absence quotas. So these are the time waste types. These cannot be entered by user directly in the info type because these are generated by the system. This occurs during the time evaluation via a time waste type selection. So there is a separate process in the system how these time waste types are created. Example, overtime bonus 50% waste type. So you are defining some conditions in the system so that system will create the time waste types. These are time management related waste types. So these cannot be entered online, meaning the user cannot directly go and in the info type and maintain this waste type. Now these were the two types of primary waste type. Now let us go and see what is secondary or technical waste type. So if you see, technical or secondary waste types these are also system generated and you cannot enter it online. Instead they are created during payroll run. Secondary waste types are also used as a container to accumulate several other waste types or to store waste type information on a temporary basis. The technical names of the secondary wage types begin with a slash. For example, slash 560, this is net pay. Slash 101, this is for total gross amount. So any wage type which starts with slash, that wage type is a technical or secondary wage type. These are created by the system during the payroll run. Why? Because sometimes, like, you want to the system has generated a wage type, some amount. Now still there is some calculation pending for that wage type. So the system is looking a place to store this particular wage type and then use it further in the calculation. So these secondary wage types are also used as a container to accumulate the wage types or to store the wage type for temporary basis, because again the payroll will pick up from that bucket and again process in further steps. So this is the technical wage type. So I hope you are basically clear what is primary and what is secondary wage type. Now let us understand what is model and custom wage type. Model wage types are the standard wage types that SAP has provided, and you should never change their characteristics, because those are the standard wage type. If you change any characteristic, then that particular standard wage type, wherever it is being used, all the things will be impacted. So you should never touch, I would say, never change the characteristic of the model wage type. But if you want to create your own wage type for your own purposes, then SAP has given an option to create custom wage type by copying the model wage type which is delivered by SAP. So you cannot change the characteristic of model wage type. However, you can copy that model wage type and create your own custom wage type. Now, this topic, the third one, is configuration of wage types. So you know what is wage type. Now, do you have a requirement to create a custom wage type? So below are the steps to create the wage type. You can create the wage type using the transaction code OH11, and also I will show you how to navigate through the navigation path. So when you copy a model wage type and create a custom wage type, all these tables will be updated. What do you mean? It means, see, I am taking a model wage type which is delivered by SAP. Now I am basically using that particular model wage type and creating my wage type, custom wage type. So what SAP is doing, it is updating all those tables where the model wage type was there, and it is also updating basically your custom wage type. Model wage type was already there, but whatever the custom wage type you are creating, these tables will get updated with your custom wage type, because you are copying a model wage type. So all the characteristics of the model wage type will also get copied to your custom wage type, because you are making a Xerox copy of the model wage type. So everything what was there in the original wage type will get copied to your wage type. Now you can go on each of the table. If you want to change the characteristic, if you want to change something, you can do for your custom wage type. SAP has permitted that, but SAP has not permitted you to change the model wage type characteristics. So that's the reason why SAP has provided you an option to copy the model wage type and create the custom wage type. When you create the custom wage type, these tables will get updated. Then you can go, and if you want to change the characteristics of your wage type, you can go and change it. So this is the configuration of wage types. So once the wage type is created, you have to configure some of the following steps. Like, you have to enter the description of the wage type, you have to check the characteristic of the wage type, you have to permit the wage type. Permit in the sense, like, for example, there is a bonus wage type. Is it permissible for every employee in the company? No. Even in my company, I am not permitted for bonus wage type, because it is a reason, because the company doesn't want to give a bonus to my level of work. But for my colleague, he is getting a bonus wage type. Reason, because he is belonging to a different employee subgroup, I am belonging to a different employee subgroup. So in the system, you can also permit the wage type, like a particular bonus wage type or some other wage type which employees are eligible for that you can also set in the configuration. Now let us go back to the SAP and see where to configure this wage type. If you see the configuration navigation path, it is same. Just go all the way down to personal management. In the personal management, you go to personal administration, and in the personal administration, you go to basically the payroll data, because this is the payroll data, right? This is the payroll data. Under the payroll data, you see basic pay. Why? Because you are configuring these wage types for info type 8, right? You are configuring this for the info type 8. Now let us go and create the wage type. Before even I create the wage type, let me tell you, like, this section is only for the basic pay, right? This section is only for the basic pay. If at all you want to create the wage type for, like I told you, there is info type 15 additional payments. If you want to create any wage type for that info type, then you have to go and select this particular IMG node and create the wage type. So every section here has its own wage types to be created. So no, it's not like that the wage type which you are creating in the basic pay will be reflected in the additional payments. No, never. Each info type has its own set of wage. So let me again log in back. So this session got killed. Okay, so I'm logging back here. Okay, I put SPRO to go to the configuration. I'm going to the reference IMG. I'm going to personal management. I'm expanding this, going to administration, expanding this, going to payroll data. Now payroll data will have all the payroll related info type configuration, like basic pay, this is for info type 8. Additional payment, if you open the additional payment, the wage types which you are configuring here is basically for additional payments, which is info type 15. At this moment we are focusing on info type 8. So let us open this node here and go to wage type. Now I am expanding the, concentrate on this particular section, because wage type creation is very important even in the real-time projects. And if you are a beginner, if you are learning SAP HR, so this concept is really important for you. So I expanded basic pay, I went to wage types. This is the area where the wage type will be created. Now first thing, what is it? Create wage type catalog. Means SAP has provided you a catalog of model wage type. I told you in my slide, there are some standard wage type which you can use and copy your custom wage type. Let us see how. So I am basically executing this. This screen comes up. It is telling please choose a method. I am telling the system I want to use a copy method because I want to copy the model wage type. Hit enter. This screen will come. See, it is showing info type 8 basic pay. Why? Whatever the wage type you are creating, it is basically permitted for info type 8. Reason is because, I'll go back, because you are under basic pay. So that is the reason why I told you whatever the wage type you are creating here are only belonging to this particular info type 8. Now let's create the custom wage type. I am searching which wage type I should select from the model. Okay, oh yeah, this wage type, it looks similar to what I am trying to create. So this is custom, this is a model wage type. Now I want to create a custom wage type. So if you see this column, this is column original wage type, means this is the model wage type, it's the original wage type. This column, if you see, is it the customizing wage type. This column is custom wage type. Now you enter some number 8009 and give a name like Zenith salary, I would say wage type, something you need to give the name. And this is the short text. This short text, whatever you are giving here, Zenith salary wage type, this short text will appear on the payslip. So this short text is always used when you want to show this on the pay slip, because if the employee want to see, okay, what is this amount, then he will know, oh, this is my wage salary. Okay, so that is indication on the pay slip. So this is the short text, this is a long text. So now once we enter the custom wage type number, after entering the custom wage type number, you are giving basically a text which is a long text, and also you are giving a short text. Now the second step here is make sure the test run is activated, because you are not creating a wage type at this moment. You want to first check when you basically copy the model wage type into custom wage type, are there any errors coming or not. So you want to first test it. So after giving a number, description, short text, what I am doing, I am telling copy. Why? I want to copy this wage type to this wage type. I want to copy this M010 to 8009. So I am telling the system copy, and I want to keep this test run activated because I want to see if there are any errors. Let us see. I am clicking on copy. When I click on copy, it says errors 0. Great, there were no errors. And secondly, if you see, these tables will be updated because you have copied the model wage type, right? So all the tables where the model wage types were stored, those characteristics will be copied to your custom wage types. So all these tables will be updated for the custom wage types. You can go and verify. Now when you see the errors are 0, now go back and then remove the test run from here, because now you actually want to create the custom wage type. Now again go and copy, because previously when you copied it was test run. Now this is without test run, means you are actually creating a custom wage type. Now I hit the copy here. Again at this point the system is prompting a request, because during the test run this box prompt didn't came because that was a test run, but now we are actually creating a wage type, it is coming as a prompt. I hit enter. Again that screen will come where you see the errors are 0. Great, you have created a wage type successfully. Now go back and then say okay, I want to exit because I have created my wage type. Perfect, I exit. Now you have created a wage type. Now there are some steps you need to follow and also make sure whether the wage type is properly created or not. Let's go one by one. After creating a wage type, you want to see whether this wage type has been basically created for this basic pay or not, because we are creating this wage type for info type 8, right? Now go and click this node which is check wage type group basic pay. I am clicking on this. Now you see here wage type group is 8, which is info type basic pay. Search for your wage type, which is basically 8009. Oh yes, great, it is showing up. It means it's successful. Now go back. Now you have to see the characteristic of those wage type, whether the characteristics are right or whether you want to change the characteristic. What I am doing, I am opening this particular check wage type catalog. Now just follow the steps what I am following it. Okay, see this video couple of times and then do it practically. What I am doing, I am clicking on check wage type text first thing, because I want to see whether the text whatever I have entered while creating the wage type, is it showing or not. Click on this and then click on position, because position is where basically which shows you how to search the wage type 8009. So now let us see whether that wage type is there. Oh yeah, this wage type is there, and it says the wage type number, the wage type text, everything is there, right? So what does it means? It means the text is being created successfully, right? Now you can go back. If there is any change in the text here, you can definitely change the text here. That's the reason why I always say if you want to do any changes, then you can go here and make the changes. That's the reason why SAP has given you, like, option, like the moment you create anything, you can go back to those table and make the relevant changes. Okay, now go back here. The second important thing here is that waste type characteristic. Waste type characteristic is very important. Click on this and search for your waste type 8009. Now see, yes, your waste type is there here. Now you want to see the characteristics. What is that characteristics? I will tell you here. It means this waste type, is it a deduction waste type or addition? It means whether is this waste type used for deducting from employee's paycheck or you're giving something to employee. No, we are adding to total because this is salary, we cannot deduct it. So that is the reason why I ticked mark it, add to total. Okay, what is this input combination? It means if you press F1, it will show you what are the different combinations of this waste type allowed. You will see this amount number in info type 8. That is the reason why it is asking the characteristics, because these characteristics are really important for info type 8, because this waste type whatever we are creating is specifically for info type 8. So these are the different combination, whether you can enter amount and number, or amount and number are optional, or whether you want to enter only number not amount. So these are the different combination which I have given here. I meant amount is essential, number is optional. So these are the two characteristics I am using in this particular screen. Now the one of the important thing is here, this is indirect valuation of waste types. What is indirect valuation? Indirect valuation means in info type 8 you do not want the user to enter the amount for the waste type. You want the amount to come automatically, directly, so that user should not worry about the amount. Here the moment user enter the waste type, amount should come by magic. I would say by magic, automatically he should see, oh, where is the waste type is coming from, amount. Just to give that amount coming automatically is indirect valuation, means the system is valuating indirectly back behind the screen, not on the front end. It is calculating everything behind the screen, and that amount is populating on the info type 8. So user will, he or she will not be worried about the amount because it is coming automatically. So this is some of the parameters which you need to make a note of. The parameter here is, first thing is indirect evaluation module. The name of this is tariff. Don't get confused with this module name with the feature tariff. I have seen many consultants, freshers, they always get confused. Even in the interview when I ask, they say, oh, this tariff means feature. No, this is separate. This is indirect evaluation module name. SAP has given so many module names, but I am using tariff. Why? To indirectly evaluate. What I am evaluating? These are some of the variants. I am using the variant B. I'll tell you why I am using the variant B so that it will be more clear. I am using the variant B. Good. It says this is basically tariff, and this is basically module variant, which is B. What it does, if you enter these two parameters here, then it will take the amount from a table which I will show you now, and then update the info type 8. Just concentrate on this one. What I have done, I have entered the module name tariff, and I have entered module name tariff and the module variant as B. What is rewritable? It means whether you can override the the waste type. So if you see here, it says this option specify whether or not the amount or number or unit waste type fields may be overwritten. So whether you want to overwrite or not, it is decided by here. So you are saying, okay, I can overwrite the amount there. So if you want to overwrite the amount there, you can just check box this. Okay, now I am saving it up. Let us go back. I am going to a configuration where the amount will be picked up, because the purpose of this is basically the moment you enter the module name and module variant, it is going to some table to pick the amount, because these are the instructions for the indirect valuation. They are telling the system, hey, the amount for this waste type will not be entered by user, it is better go and calculate indirectly. Then where is that amount stored? Okay, in my previous lecture, if you remember, I left the topic pay scale group and level. Yes, because here the amount will be stored and that particular module and variant will pick the amount from here. Let us see what this particular revised pay scale groups and levels means. So let us click on this here. This screen will come up. Okay, what was my pay scale type? ZS. What is the pay scale area? ZC. And then I press enter. This screen came up. I already created some value here for another purpose, but let us create another entry. This grouping is employee subgroup grouping for CAP. CAP. If you remember, we gave some grouping number 3 for salary. Yes, that I am entering it here. Now I am entering the pay scale group. I am saying, oh, he is a manager. Good. And for which level? Level 2. Okay, which wage type? The one which we created. What is the start validity of this wage type? This date. End date is this date. Amount I want to give like 870. I am telling, if the employee belongs to this pay scale type, this pay scale area in the info type 8, then if the employee belongs to this group, this level, for this wage type, the amount should be automatically come as 870. This is indirect valuation. This is indirect valuation based on the characteristics. If in the characteristic, if you don't enter the module variant as B, then this particular amount will not come automatically in info type 8. So this is very important here. So save here. What did I do? I created a entry for pay scale type, pay scale area, employee subgroup grouping for collective agreement provision. I entered the manager group as a manager. I created a level 2. I gave my wage type, whichever we have created just now, 8009, and I gave the amount. The now system will basically pop up this amount in info type 8 based on these conditions if they are met for that particular employee. Now let us go back. And now most of the configuration of wage type is done, but there are 2-3 things left and I would really like to focus on those. See, now you have created the wage type. The most important thing is here, you have to permit that wage type to that particular group of employees. If you don't permit the wage type, system will not know whether this wage type is permitted for hourly or salary, right? We have not told the system like is it permitted or not. So let us now permit the wage type for the employee subgroups and personal sub-area, meaning whatever the wage type we have created just now, we want to permit to the employee subgroup as well as for the personal sub-area. So here we are grouping it. So you remember grouping in the sense we are basically maintaining a number for the group. So let's click on this employee subgroup for the primary wage type. I am clicking this one. It is asking me the country 10. Fine. Now let us search our employee group. Here is my employee group, employee subgroup. I am just giving a number 9. I am giving a number 9, meaning whichever employee subgroup belonging to number 9, I want to use it for my wage type, which is 8009. So this is just a grouping number I am giving it for my groups to identify. So I have given number 9. Just remember this. What I have done? I have grouped my employee subgroups to a number which is 9. Now I go to personal sub areas for my wage type. I am telling, okay, which personal sub areas my wage type should be allowed. So I am telling, oh yes, this personal sub areas I am giving number 9. So I am giving the number 9. This is just a number, you can give any number. So I am saying what I have done, I have basically given a grouping number for my employee subgroups and personal sub area. Now you are going to this node. So sometimes you have to come back here because that's what the configuration plays sometime logic here. But once you practice 2-3 times, then it's very easy. So now click on this, not this one, sorry, this one. Define waste type permissibility for your grouping. Did we give the waste type number here? No, we haven't given the waste type number here. We just grouped our employee subgroups and personal sub areas. We have not given the waste type number yet. This is the place where we want to permit our waste type. What is our waste type? 8009. Good. See, now select this waste type, go to details, remove this one. I will tell you what this one means so that it will be clear. Initial screen will be this one. Now, do you remember what is our grouping? Number 9, right? Yes. Now, what are the different values here? One means waste type permissible. Waste type for employee subgroup grouping permissible, meaning that you want this waste type to be permitted for this grouping number 9, which is basically, I think there were 2 employee subgroups and we grouped to number 9. So you are telling the system, hey, whatever the waste type I have created is permitted to this group. That is the reason why you are entering number 1 for this group. 1 means permitted. Similarly, you have also grouped personal sub area to a number 9. Here also you are giving a number 1. So what does this screen shows? You are permitting your waste type to the employee subgroup grouping and personal sub area grouping. You are permitting the waste type to a grouping. It means whatever the personal sub areas are in this group will have they are eligible for this waste type, and similarly whatever the employee subgroup you have assigned to this grouping 9 are eligible for this waste type. Now this basically ends our configuration of the waste type for info type 8. Almost, like I would say 70% of the configuration is done. So what have we done? Let us just give a recall of what we have done. We first clicked on this create waste type catalog. So in this step, what we did, we copied the model waste type and then created the custom waste type, right? This is the first step. We created we copied the model waste type and then created the custom waste type. And then in the second node, we went to this and checked whether our waste type, whatever we have created, is it showing for the info type 8 group. If it is showing, good. Then you go there here and say, okay, let me see the text of the waste type. If you want to change the text, you can very well go and change the text here. Now, after this, we went to the check waste type characteristics, where basically we have given the characteristics of the waste type, whether it is addition or subtraction. I mean, whether you are paying to the employee or you are deducting from the employee. And the most important in the characteristics is indirect valuation. Indirect valuation means the user is not entering the amount in the info type page. System will calculate automatically. For that purpose, we went to this particular node called revise pay scale groups and level, where we have defined for which group and level what amount should be automatically calculated. After completing that, we gave the permissibility of the waste type to the employee subgroups, so that whatever the waste type you have created, you want to make sure is it permitted to the right subgroup. Similarly, you have also permitted your waste type for the personal sub areas. And then you went to this node and gave the number indicator 1 so that it is permitted. So if you go back to my video, okay, you will understand, because this will take a practice actually. Now you have done the configuration. Let's go to info type 8. Okay, so I would say /OPA30. I am going to info type 8. Let me pick up my number 50062. This was my employee number. Now I am going to info type 8. Info type 8. Perfect. Now I am going to click create. Let's go and click create. This screen came up. Now you see pay scale type and pay scale area are defaulted because in my previous lecture I told you that because of the feature tariff, the pay scale type and pay scale area can be defaulted, which it is defaulting here. That is right. Now what is my pay scale group? Pay scale group, see, it is showing there are two groups which I have created. Let us pick up this one, manager L2. So group is manager and level is L2, which it automatically came up. Now let us test the indirect valuation. For which wage type? 8009. You can also select the wage type from here. Now just focus on the screen. I am not entering the amount. I don't want to enter the amount. I want the system to calculate the amount right away because I have given the characteristic of the wage type as module name tariff and the module variant B. Because of those two parameters, the system will go and pick up that amount which I have configured during creation of pay scale group and level. Let's hit enter and press. In this particular warning message, information message will come. Ignore it. Press enter. See, automatically the amount 870 came. Why? Because in the configuration, if you see here, if you go to revise pay scale groups and level here, if you type your pay scale type, pay scale area, if you see this 870 amount, yes, it is coming if the person is a manager and he is a level 2 and for this wage type. But in the characteristics, if you go to the wage type characteristics here and search your wage type 8009 and then go to display here, see here, if you don't enter the module variant B, this amount will not be calculated automatically. That is very important, right? Now just observe here, this is enabled, right? Basically the wage type, you can, these fields are enabled, right? Even the amount is enabled. You can go and change the amount, right? 90089, you can change it amount, meaning you can change it. Why? Because in the characteristics you have given that this amount, whatever it is getting calculated through indirect evaluation, can be changed, can be override. Now remove this one and save the characteristics. Let us, now I am not allowing the system to or user to override the amount. Let me go back and again enter here. I am entering here and again I am selecting my group and my level and press okay, I have to enter my wage type number. Now let me press enter. Just observe it. I am pressing enter. I am pressing enter. See, this amount came, but this is not disabled. Why? Because in the characteristics you have told the system that it is not permitted to override. So this is very important. So if you permit, then only these things will basically get impacted here. So this was the configuration of the wage type, how to define the create a wage type, how to permit the wage type, how to indirectly calculate the, see this amount, how it is calculating. Even the user is not permitted to change. So this is important. You have to understand how this indirect valuation is calculating this amount. So you can practice yourself, you know, you can put this module and variant and also go back to that particular pay scale group and level here, give your pay scale type and then pay scale level, pay scale type, pay scale area, change the amount here. Change the amount here and again check whether this info type 8 is automatically indirectly evaluating the wage type or not. So this complete the lecture about what is wage type and what is the method to create a custom wage type. In the next lecture I will explain you you know what is technical wage type. I don't want to confuse you in this lecture because this lecture is totally dedicated for info type 8, so I didn't wanted to touch anything technical wage type stuff here. So hope you enjoyed my lecture. Thanks. Bye.